Low metabolism. This video is so overdue. Apologies to a lady that's watching. I promised to do this, and that was weeks ago. Where did the weeks go? They just fly by. Lady I'm working with, low metabolic rate. So hers was about 1,200 calories, which isn't really that low. I've worked with lower. The lowest I've had was 800. This lady, she only weighs about 124 pounds. Wants to lose a few pounds, but we've got this it's not low, but it's a subdued metabolic rate. So she wants a meal plan to lose weight. Well, what am I going to do to lose weight? We have to create a deficit. So we create a deficit by having you eat less than you need, and or expenditure. But what am I going to do? Give you a 1,100. 900 calorie a day diet? I'm certainly not going to do that. So I told her that I would do a video to explain how I handle low metabolic rate. And I've got to say, not in this case, and I don't know this lady well enough yet, but in every other case I've had a low metabolic rate, it is chronic dieters and competitors, without exception, in 25 years. So how to increase metabolic rate? Well, the first thing is that your metabolism is a function of lean tissue. So 70% of the metabolic rate is a function of lean tissue. So you've got to build muscle. So you've got to lift heavy things. This lady is not lifting heavy things. She's doing a lot of cardio. So we've got to switch that out a little bit and have her lift heavy things. How else do you build muscle? Well, you build muscle with a lot of protein. So we've got to up her protein, have her lift big heavy things. We've got safely. We have to let her get plenty of rest. HIIT training 2, maybe 3 times a week is pretty awesome for increasing metabolic rate. And we have to get her off the shakes and onto real foods. There is a thing called the thermic effective food, TEF. It's in my book. If you haven't got my book, get my book. Thermic effective food, but what that is basically is when we eat food, there is an energy value associated to digestion. In other words, it takes calories to digest the food that you eat. We should therefore, and the thermic effective food can be 15% of your metabolic rate. So we need to eat foods that the body has to work to break down, right? So we're eating real foods, we're eating high protein, we're eating good, clean, real food. We're lifting big, heavy things. We're getting a lot of rest. We're drinking a lot of water because water is needed to process calories. And studies have actually shown that people that drink more water burn more calories. That's all I should have to say about that. But it does make the thermic effective food thing. The thing about thermic effective food is why, given that, what is it with these juice cleanses and juice diets and liquid diets? Because you can increase your metabolic rate. Part of your metabolic rate is the thermic effect of food. So if you're consuming things that don't need any digestion, you're just losing a calorie burn that you could have had. Not quite sure why you do that. So how would I do it? This lady, high protein diet, plenty of rest, lift big heavy things safely, drink plenty of water. And then what I'm going to do is I am going to increase your calories. Didn't like that. Increase your calories 150 to 200 calories a day, right? Measure your whatever, make sure you haven't gained weight. Then I'm going to do it again. Measure your weight, make sure you haven't gained weight. And I'm going to keep doing that every week, or sometimes it might be every 2 weeks, until you gain weight. And then when you gain weight, I'm going to hold you there. Nobody likes doing this. I'm going to hold you there, and I'm going to hold you there. And at that point, I am hoping your metabolic rate, I point over here because the machine's over here. By that point, I'm hoping your metabolic rate's maybe up by 400 or 500 calories. Now, say this lady's gone from having a 1,200 calorie metabolic rate to a 1,700 calorie metabolic rate, and we hold her there for a little while so the body's used to running at that pace. Now we can create a deficit, and now we can bring her back down, and she will lose weight quicker, and she won't be left with a jacked up metabolic rate that doesn't serve her anymore. What happens with a lot of diets? If you go too, is that Kevin? Okay, we'll see if we can get away with it. If you go too far below a metabolic rate, so if you don't know what your metabolic rate is and you start eating too far below it on a diet, my observation is right between weeks 4 and 6, your metabolism downgrades. And if you keep doing that, your metabolism will get slower and slower and slower. And again, I go back to my first point that the people that I have checked that have low metabolic rate are 9 times out of 10 chronic dieters and or competitors. Oh boy, so many competitors. And it's fixable, and it takes a little bit more time, but that is how I would deal with a low metabolic rate. Next video, I'm going to share a really fun story about one lady whose metabolic rate I brought up by 500 calories in 1 month and 2 inches off her waist.